Hello everybody and welcome to the J72 Gaming Channel. My name is Jacob, you guys can just call me Jay here. Now today guys, the developers over at the new upcoming animal game I should say, Way of Animals, reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to check out this game? And I love to check out animal games even if they're very, let me stress this, very early in development. So this game I'm really not sure about at all, so I'm kind of jumping in blind with you guys and I want to kind of check out everything this game has to offer, starting off with all the creatures we have, but as well as going into seeing if they've got any more systems into the game, how growth works, how maybe they have stats, all those things, right? We're gonna dig into the nitty-gritty and kind of see what they've got already. Now this is on a test build, so I'm on my own server, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to see anybody, any other players today. So we're really just looking at the models, looking at the systems in the game, stuff like that, right? So let's dive in. Let's take a look at all the creatures they have. And I have noticed just from the 1 minute before I hit start recording, they have very interesting creatures. So they've got the Dik-Dik, which is kind of like a hyena. They've got a caracal, which is kind of like a lynx, right? It's like a small wild cat. They have the actual hyena. So here's the difference between... Oh, I take that back. The Dik-Dik is... That makes sense. I actually know what a Dik-Dik is. Dik-Dik is like a small little antelope. And then here's the hyenas, female and male, which is interesting. The female is like a lot larger, which is kind of cool. We've got the Eland, which is a big boy. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of a kudu, if you guys know what that ungulate is. Then here's the female. And then they actually have Porcupine, which I think is probably the most interesting option that they have here in their roster compared to some other animal games. Like the other animal games, we've got ungulates and we've got cats and we've got hyenas and wild dogs and stuff like that. But Porcupine, it's really cool to see. Very, very different. So we'll definitely be jumping in and checking that one out. And there's also the topi or topi. I'm not sure how to say this. Very much like a kudu here. This is another big ungulate. So let's go ahead and dive into what I think is probably just pretty generic. Let's check out the hyena first and yeah, see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing I notice is that they're yeah, like I was saying, very much in development. You have the HP bar above my head, what appears to be I would assume stamina and water down below, or maybe hunger. I'm not really sure. Okay, so I'm clicking around, right, and there's no, I can't hit escape for a menu, so there's no way to check controls, which is unfortunate. And I pretty much just have shift to run and look around, so this is looking very early, almost earlier than I expected. Can I drink water just by walking up and hitting E? I can. Okay, so they've got the classic game hitting E. Doesn't look like they have too much terrain modeling added in. You can see that my character's kind of standing flat, right? Let's see, does he align himself when going up the hills? No. Okay, so it doesn't have any physics to go along with the elevation. Okay, well, let's just keep testing things, guys. Let's see, do they swim? Oh, they don't swim. Okay. Okay, that's a bummer. Just kind of runs in. Oh wow, we get weird effects here. Oh, and he's just auto walking. Oh, I am sinking a little. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it does seem like they have almost really nothing in the game yet. I would hesitate to call this a game at this point. This is pretty much just a viewer of models where they can move. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the models. I do wish I could up the graphics. Like I said, I can't actually hit escape and test the settings or anything. Like I keep saying, I'm in an extremely early build. This is a testing build only. It's not even in like a public beta or anything like that, or even an alpha, right? It's just, I guess, testing alpha would be what you could consider this right now. So I can't upgrade the graphics, unfortunately, and I also can't zoom in and out, which is a little bothersome for me as a gamer personally. I like to be able to zoom in and out on my creatures just to see the detail or to kind of look around, right? But let's talk about some good things. I actually do like the model and how it runs. I do wish it was a little bit higher graphics, but I can see that coming later. But I have played Animalia and I've played Artemisia, and I've played a bunch of Pathotians and much of the Isles. So I feel like I can tell when there's a good model at least, and this one seems to be decent. Can I jump? Let's see. Okay, no no jumping animation though, which is unfortunate. But the running looks okay. The gait, if you will, looks the stride looks fairly okay. Now I do not know if these are purchased off of Unreal Engine. I do know that there are a lot of animal games that do that, which is unfortunate in the gaming industry. I would love to see actual modders and developers actually design and animate their own models. That shows a lot of promise to me when they do that. So I don't actually know, unfortunately. Perhaps I'll try to find that information for you guys towards the end of the video when I do kind of like an overall review take on this. The map, however, is probably one of my favorite things of all of these animal games, and I can tell you... Oh, can I get up this? Come on. I can tell you just by kind of looking already that the map does look fairly decent. As far as it's got different biomes, like compared to Animalia, when I jumped to Animalia about the same early access level as this, maybe a little bit after, they were in about beta or whatever, the Animalia map was very barren. So this one already has some trees, has some ground clutter and all that, which is good to see. Let's test if I have fall damage. Oh, you just gotta like fall straight. Okay, I did take a little bit of fall damage. No animation at all, unfortunately. But I did take damage, so there is that. Let's see, I'm gonna test all the buttons I know for all these different games. I'm gonna hit, let's see, let's try H to sit. Yeah, okay, H is sitting. There we go. And hold H to sleep. Nope. Okay, just sits and stands. Also, my yellow bar is really going down there. I'm not sure what that would be. I'm not even sure how I would eat if there's no if there's no other animals. Like there's no, I'm assuming there's no wild AI. I guess I could run around for a bit and kind of see. All right, I'm gonna just like book it for a bit. I'm just gonna kind of cruise the map looking to see if there are AI hiding. It looks like my stamina is dropping and my water is dropping, but I don't know, it doesn't really seem to have a food meter, which is interesting. Maybe that's just simply not in the game yet. I will say something that I immediately can tell is that movement, like turning, is very, very hard to do, really. It's harsh. You turn faster when you're walking slower, which I guess does make sense, but you can't really like stop and pivot in the other way. Perhaps there's precise movement. I can hit some buttons here. That doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. Yeah, this game could really use with, even specifically for testing, really, we need some controls. I don't have any controls here, so my ability to test is really kind of on my own, right, to figure out what all these buttons do. But yeah, I can't really pivot. I also kind of like fly through the air when I jump, which is funny. So there's a lot of work still needs to be done, for sure. Oh man, yeah, like running up. Oh, that looked horrible. Okay. Also, my stamina bar went all the way down, at least what I assume was stamina, and I don't have, it doesn't seem to have any consequence. I'm just still cruising. And now my HP bar, at least what I assume is my HP bar up top, is dropping pretty rapidly. Maybe it's because, maybe the yellow was my hunger and not stamina? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when I hit 0 green here, and maybe I just pass out? I just die? Let's see. What are you gonna do to us, game? So the running animations, it's pretty decent. Like, that looked good. Okay, I did die, so that was my HP. Interesting. Okay, let's try another animal real quick. Okay, guys, between animals here, I actually went to the Discord and asked the developers about the controls. So I got a full list of controls now in here. I also do want to mention I asked them if they have custom created animals, right, the models, or if they were purchased off the Unreal Shop. And they said they are all custom created, which is great to see. So while this game might not have a whole lot to offer, everything currently is custom, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and dive into the Porcupine. I still think this is one of the more interesting animals that they have available. He's gonna be a slow guy, that is for sure. Oh boy. Okay, so we have a few controls here. We have L, which should hide the HUD, so you can get nice screenshots. Pretty awesome. They also have, they do have sleep. I had to hold H. Once they're fully sitting, you hold H for 2 seconds. And they go to sleep. There we go. Look at that. Take the HUD away for him. Look at that cute little guy. Okay. We also have multiple running animations, which I wish I knew on the Hyena. But we have, you can hit Z to enable trot. which doesn't seem to do anything. Okay. And then X enables running, which does, I guess, looks a little different. Hard to tell on this little porcupine guy. Maybe it's not a good way to test all those. Besides that, however, it doesn't seem like there's really much else in the game. There are attacks, so you've got your left and right click to do attacks, which I'm assuming... Oh, can I hold this? I can't hold it. It'd be great if I could hold it as a porcupine to stay upright. Also, that kind of shows the booty hole a little bit. Don't want to show that too much on YouTube. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. But yeah, it would be really cool if I could just hold the quill to stay upright and to be kind of like ready, right? That's what porcupines do when they kind of like act like pufferfish, right? They see an enemy and they kind of stop and they kind of rear their back to get their quills up and they kind of hang out. A lot of them will actually kind of jump backwards, which is kind of interesting. They do like a little hop and bunny hop. So I can't do that here, but that would be a cool addition, I think, to have in the game. All right, let's. This is gonna be pretty simple, but since we're here, let's go ahead and see the drinking animation of this guy. If I can. Okay, no. Let's get out of the water here. Some games you have to wait until it actually says press E to drink. So I do want to test if that is the case with this game. And it looks like it is not, which is awesome to see. So you don't actually have to wait for the E. The aisle has that, and or had it for a while. They have changed it since then. But yeah, that was frustrating because you'd constantly like reposition and try to, you know, try to like hit E perfectly, and it's a whole thing. Okay, well, we do have another thing to see. I can hit insert here and go into spectator mode. So this is actually huge for the map. So let's go ahead and zoom out and kind of take a look at the whole map here. I am, like I was saying earlier, I'm a massive fan of the maps of these games. It's kind of like what I really like to kind of pride my YouTube channel on is knowing the locations and knowing the differences of the map updates as time goes on of all these games. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one and kind of compare it to some of the other ones I've seen. Now the best game to compare this game to is Animalia. And Animalia, like I said earlier, in its kind of like alpha build, had a very, very barren map. But it was very large, which was good because it kind of gave it room to grow, you know what I mean? So this one looks fairly small from what I can see. It seems to be highly developed in that area, kind of like the starting area. And I wish I could move faster, if I'm honest. But yeah, it looks like it's going to go all the way over there out to the mountains. So pretty small location, unfortunately. I would love to see a little bit bigger, but again, testing, it's early. I'm just going to speak open about what I want to see and what I hope to see, you know what I mean? All right, let's get over this mountain range. Give me like 5 minutes to slowly glide over there. Okay, I finally managed to glide myself super slowly over here. I wanted to come over here because it looked like the most interesting section on the map when we were kind of zooming around. It's got a big kind of cliff right here. So I'm wondering if anything is even down here? Question mark? Doesn't appear to be so, unfortunately. That is a nice large cliff if I need to yeet my character off, though, to die, because there is currently no respawn in the game, unfortunately. When I asked for the controls, that's one of the things they mentioned. They're like, unfortunately, we don't have respawn button in yet, which makes sense. They don't even have an escape menu yet. So that goes to show you, again, just how early this game is in development. Okay, but yeah, not too much going on over here, unfortunately. If I hit insert, do I... Oh, I returned it back to where I was. Dang. Okay, no way we're getting the porcupine all the way over there to to kill, unfortunately. Alright, but we are dying fast. It looks like my hunger bar, which was the yellow bar down at the bottom, is going down super, super fast. So let's just test real quick whether the herbivores need to eat from a specific plant, which it is not letting me do, or if I can just graze kind of anywhere. I think I'm going to die before we really get a chance to see. Yeah, I'm holding E. Doesn't seem like he's biting any of that. Okay. Porcupine done. Alright, let's try out the Eland real quick, and then we will try out the little caracal after real quick, just to kind of get a grand scheme of all of the creatures here. Now, it is painfully obvious, right, guys, that there's not really a game here. This is very much just a test. Honestly, this is a test of the test, right? If a beta test is a test, this is, like, super testing it. So I really just want to kind of focus in on just the models, because that's really... And the map, right? The models and the map are the two things that I think we currently, as testers, can give feedback back before, if that makes sense. It was a poorly worded sentence, but yeah, basically, I do really like the models. I do wish they were a little bit more HD, but that can be, like, you see the horns? The horns are kind of blurry. Same with, like, the ears. So, I don't know. If I had to give a rating out of 1 out of 10, I'd probably give these, like, a 6.5, maybe a 7 on models. They are custom, which I really like. It also doesn't shy away from the bollocks down there, so that's, you know, atomic, wow, I really can't talk. It is biologically correct. Let's say that. Anatomically correct. Okay, let's try shifting the trot and run. Okay, there we go. So I hit X, and that was, let me double check. X was to engage running. So this is the actual run, and Z was the trot. So we were probably just trotting before, with the hyena and the porcupine. So decent running animation. I still feel kind of slow. I feel like this creature would be a little bit faster than this, even though he is bulky. And I do wish I could zoom out. I hope that's something that they implement very, very soon, because that just drives me nuts, spinning the mouse wheel, you know, and nothing happening. Okay, well, I want to test eating. I do want to know if I can eat everywhere, which it didn't seem like I could. Let's see, holding E, can't just eat any bush, it seems. Now, in most animal games, you can't eat everywhere. You have to find a specific bush, and so I would assume if they have implemented eating for us to test, that it would be that type of way. However, the Isle does have grazing, and I love the grazing implemented in that game. Path of Titans does not have it implemented, and neither did Artemisia or Animalia. And so I really do hope this game would have grazing, because it always seems silly to me when you're playing a big herbivore, and, you know, like in the real world, this guy would just start munching on the grass below him, and it wouldn't feed him a ton, right? He'd have to graze a lot to like really fill his belly. But he would be able to. He wouldn't have to search out that one specific bush. So yeah, it always seems silly to me when you have to search for just one bush. So I do hope that they add grazing into the game, at least in some form or function, right? The Isle has it so when you graze, you will never go above 25% hunger. So you won't die, right? If you're about to die, you can graze, and that's always good. But you can't only eat by grazing, right? So it still promotes the player to search around on the map to find those specific bushes, which is good. It gets the players to run around, which, you know, kind of facilitates them bumping into other players, which is a good system in the game, right? I talk about in a lot of these animal games that I play, the systems behind the game. The gameplay loop is what I call it. And that what I mean by that is that there needs to be something for all the players to do while growing, because really all it is just grow your creature to full adult and then try to survive, maybe nest in a creature, get in a few fights, right? That's kind of what all these animal survival games are. But the gameplay loop needs to be, like in the Isle, they added diets, right? So you go around to different plants, you've got 3 types of diets. So like this guy, for example, maybe he needs to eat like this type of bush, right? And this type of bush would give him, let's say, diet A, right? And then he also needs to go find maybe these little ferns on the ground, right? And these guys will give him diet B. And then maybe over here in the tropic area, you've got these ferns, and these ferns give diet C, right? Now, the gameplay loop would be much better if they were spread across the map, so that encourages the player to kind of roam and to go around and see more things. Also facilitates, like I said, them bumping into other players, because the carnivore players need to know, or they want to learn to know, where their prey that they want for their diets, where their prey is going. So it really facilitates kind of this world, this atmosphere, this environment, right, this ecosystem. And so that's the gameplay loop that I'm talking about. Animalia currently has no gameplay loop, and that was very, very apparent to me when I was playing. Artemisia had no gameplay loop at all as well. And Path of Titans has gone a different way, and I won't touch upon it too much, but they have quests where you go around doing quests to collect items and marks and stuff. And I don't believe this game is going to go anywhere near that, right? Path of Titans is very unique in that regard. But it is a gameplay loop, and it gets the players to move around the map, and it gets the players to bump into other players, and it's good, right? It fuels the system behind just simply logging in and sitting in a bush to grow your character. Now, I will say, now that we've kind of made it over here to this area, it looks like this place will probably have water in it at some point. I mean, it very obviously looks like a riverbed. But besides the lack of water, I will say that this area does look pretty good. Again, everything's kind of on low settings, so there's a little bit of a blur. But if you can imagine them kind of cranking that up over time, once the testing has, once the game kind of gets developed a little bit more, I can see this area being really, really beautiful. Oh, there is a little bit of water. Look at that. Okay, cool. I guess we could test this guy drinking since he got thirsty running. Now, guys, I did ask in their Discord, there he goes. I did ask in their Discord how long this game has been in development, and they said in January it will be 2 years. So it's about, that was a weird way for them to say that, to be honest, but it's about 1.5 years right now of development. So still super early. I think that tracks out about 1 year of work to get all these custom models and custom trees and all the animations and stuff like that. That does take a long time, so I understand that. And that's kind of why we see what we see, right? We don't really see a game right now. We see kind of just testing the models, right? There's like, let's be real. That's all that's in here right now. Now, I will say I have been testing just while talking to you guys and a little bit after, trying to eat these bushes. But going up to those ferns, going up to the bushes, trying to graze and stuff, and it doesn't seem like they actually are really eating. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, unfortunately. But let me run over to this cliff that we found. I'm gonna, do the old animal yeet off the side here, and we'll load into the final creature, and I'll give kind of my closing thoughts on this game and what I hope to see from it. Okay, we made it. And Simba, everything you see over here, you can touch. But the land over there and down below, you should never go there. Because if you do, you shall not survive. What? I survived that? Are you kidding me? Oh, man, they recommended me jump off cliffs to die. And I can't even get back up to keep doing that. That's easily the biggest cliff in the game. What the heck? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, I guess we can test their, whether or not they have, like, physics when going. Can I run up this? I cannot run up this. Okay, that's good. At least they have that. At least the game knows it's a cliff. Okay, guys, well, let's just kind of wrap up, right? This is just a first impressions. Like I keep saying, I really want to hammer down the point that this is super, super early, right? This is just testing. But I will say that just the fact that they have custom models, even if the models are a little bit blurry now and could be refined and kind of touched up in the future, the fact that they do have custom models is huge. There's a lot of games out there that don't have custom models, and they get a lot of flack for it, and a lot of games are just kind of cash grabs, right? Where they purchased stuff off the Unreal Engine store, they throw it in a game, they slap a title on the game, and they ask for 20 bucks on Steam. Everybody buys it. It lasts for about 2-3 months, and then they run off with the money, right? But the fact that they have custom models and they've been working on them for already a year goes to show me that, yeah, they actually are putting in effort and they are taking this seriously, which is all I really ask for animal survival games, right? So now comes the big question. Do I recommend this game? Well, I can't even give you an answer for that because it's not really a game, right? It's just testing kind of the models. This is kind of just looking at what they've got, what they could show us, and kind of assuming and kind of guessing where this game could go. Now, the big thing that I want to know as both a content creator on YouTube and just a fan of animal survival games is what is going to make this game different than Animalia, right? Animalia is already a few years ahead of this game. They're both trying to be the animal African safari survival game, and both of them haven't really tackled a unique gameplay loop yet, right? Animalia does have stats, right? So as you're growing your creature, you can put stats in defense, you can put stats in speed and attack, stuff like that, right? Stamina, breath, all that. That is not necessarily a gameplay loop, but it is a unique gameplay system, which I do appreciate. Although I think I recently read that they actually voted to remove that. So anyway, that's a whole Animalia topic. We'll discuss that when we check out Animalia again in the future. Which I did do a review recently. So if you are interested in animal survival games, guys, and kind of want to compare like where this one currently is to where it could be in 2 or 3 years, I recommend checking out the Animalia game because that one actually currently still is a game, right? It's gotten past the model testing side of it. But yeah, figuring out the difference between Animalia here and Way of Animals is really important to me. I'm very curious what they decide to do. We need a gameplay loop, be it diets, be it something else unique that I haven't thought of yet. That's going to be the make or break for me for the game here. But let's salute this animal as he passes away for hunger. Oh, I guess it's going to take some time for his HP to drop, isn't it? Yeah, never mind. Okay, don't salute yet. Salute as the outro goes. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this first look. I'm going to keep looking at this game. I'll keep checking in with it, checking out the updates. Although, just knowing the timetables of all these animal survival games, we're going to be a few years off before this one's in a playable state where I actually recommend you to buy it. So we're just kind of taking a look at it and, you know, seeing what's out on the market, right? This game's only been in development for a year. It's got custom models. It's got a decent looking map, to be real, compared to some other games that I've played in testing. Like, I want to stress that the map is actually pretty good for where we're at. It's small, but the trees and the you know, the environment, it looks okay, right? It's not the worst I've seen by a large margin. But yeah, where Way of Animals goes over the course of time, we shall see. But if you guys want to kind of stay updated on this, I recommend joining the channel, right? Becoming a subscriber. I don't know, update this every year or so probably as we see new changes. So I'm hopeful, but you know, I'm gonna hold my breath, and we'll see. We'll see what they do with it, right? Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look at Way of Animals and what they've gotten done in about a year. Let me know what you guys think of the game below. Maybe put down some thoughts of stuff that you want to see in the game, because I do know that the developers reached out to me and gave me the code to test here. So they're looking. They're going to be watching my video. They're going to probably be reading the comments. So if you guys want to tell them what you want to see in this game, that's a good place to do it, right? Also, they have a Discord, which I actually don't know if that's public, but if it is, I will throw it in the description. It might just be for testers right at this point. But anyway, put your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let them know what you want to see. Let me know your thoughts on everything we looked at and all the ideas that I kind of threw at you guys about where this game could possibly go in the future. All right, guys, but that's it for the outro. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. But until next time, I've been Jay. Peace out.